Are you currently working?
I mean,
Woman is asking, she kind of mentioned one time, she was saying, Black women, I kind of look to Black women for advice and whatever, and she's an ally. She kind of stated those things. As a Black Muslim woman, I feel like she is violating a colored person. And this man, again, is Muslim. When she went to the in-person appointment, she gave him a hug. That's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That's so wrong. Not only it's unethical and unprofessional, and it's against his religion. So we should, if she, I think we should reach out to her and talk to her if she's going to listen to anyone, and tell her that, hey, if you really think that, if you value us and you're an ally, what you're doing is harmful and it's really wrong. You're violating him in every way.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And somebody had said that, let me go back to the comment. And you mentioned too, she's not an ally, first and foremost. Her bringing up Black women and saying, I believe and Black women are the most, should be cherished above all, and they should. Okay, what was the point of mentioning that? I don't know how that helps you in your story. But then but these Black women are wrong because of this, that, and the other thing. You clearly are trying to validate yourself again. How can you say that you trust in what Black women say and what they have to, they've helped you unpack so much, and then turn around and go, but these ones here, they don't agree with me, and so I can't listen to what they have to say. It just doesn't make sense. Queer, go ahead.
Ooh, sorry about that. Yeah, I was just wondering if you or anyone had seen, taken a gander at a client of Kendra's that came out with a 6-part series. Yeah. And I felt as though, watching it and all of these videos that I come across on the interwebs is taken, with as much salt as I can, but it was enlightening. And I did find one of the most interesting parts was the theories, that Kendra was employing more and more as the sessions became more and more unhinged with that, with Emily. And I heard someone post about it briefly, and it's like design. It's something like
human design or something.
Human design.
Yep.
And I was like, what in the subplot is actually going on now? So I was wondering if, what you thought of that and other people, and if that seemed to be something.
So I did. I watched. I think, was it Emily? Is what you said her name was?
Yes.
I watched her series. The fact that she got $3,000 out of this woman is crazy to me, but it just goes to show that a lot of people can sell you piss and tell you it's drinking water, apparently, because I don't understand. And I understand that Emily was trying to start her sober journey and wanted to reach out to her because she was allegedly sober now herself, and she was teaching other whatever. I think we put too much into these coaching and these alternative ways of getting help. I'm not saying that there are not good alternatives to normal medicine and normal practices, but I think we need to stop putting our faith into people just because we know them, we've heard them, things like that. At the end of the day, we're just people. Anybody can build a website. I can build a website right now and tell you guys that I'm a life coach. And it's just crazy how people are just ready to shove out that kind of money instead of going to traditional therapists. And I know that's because mental health, a lot of people have been burnt out by the traditional, because of the way that the world has seen mental health. And it's just now in the recent last, 5 or so years where even jobs are promoting mental health. So there's been a shift. But at the same time, we have to protect ourselves. And yeah. I think that definitely Emily is a victim of hers. So when I asked her about Emily, because when we were talking in the DMs, I asked her, what are your thoughts on the person who came out against you? Oh, I'm going to address it, and I'm going to tell So again, she continues this, I'm going to address it. So I guess she's going to have her own 20-part, series about it. It's just like, when does it all stop?
To that same effect, did you see also that in Emily's, in the latter sessions, Emily's latter videos, and somewhat in the comments, and also in Kendra's live last night, that people are like, hey, so it seems like you're utilizing some CBT. Did you know that that is highly illegal? And her response in the live last night, because my nosy ass was in bed watching, I was like, she's just like, yeah, I'll have to look into that. And in her very exact in that way. And Emily in her videos was just like, yeah, she began to basically use CBT, and also just comes out and names it. And I feel like that is also a huge part of this, where it's to just showcase the kind of grifter, snake oil way that especially a quasi-intellectual white woman of a certain the way her way, and she's just snake oiling and literally just trying to submit little ways of therapizing people, and also taking their money in the process when she's not licensed. And I do wonder about any legal ramifications, of course, but that will be my last bit. And thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Camille, go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Amazing. I think my big thing with this whole thing, and I have devoured this person's videos. I am a person who's received therapy, a person who's received psychiatry, a person who is in training to become a therapist. And I think we have so many therapists take on this, and we have so many people weighing in, and so many people, quote unquote, feeding her delusions, or taking the side of the person. And what's wild is just this, we don't actually know what happened. And if we look at what she has presented us with, which you've got it in your background, this closure email from the actual therapist, and her response of oh, she was begging me to stay. If we, if we are going to accept that, yes, this was exaggeration, then we have to know that there are likely so many other parts of her story that are exaggeration. This idea that some people are saying, oh, he knew she was in love with him, so he should have dropped her as a patient. When in reality, that for somebody, if she's got these attachment wounds, that could be really triggering, and just passing her off to someone else is not always the answer. And this idea of him getting vilified because he didn't act a certain way, he didn't do these things, when all of the things that she has said, and I'm so sorry if I'm repeating things that other people have said earlier, all of the things that she has said are him establishing boundaries, and this idea of this, push, pull. And, on a realer note, every time she says, and that things are really going to get turned up, and then she gives us nothing about it. And I'm like, what part are we on now? 18?
Right. Him holding the door for her. He held the door. He walked me out to the main entrance. I don't, that's to the fort. I don't, what in that it has someone not done that? I guess like I said, at the beginning of this, I said, she's not a reliable narrator. If you're telling me this email behind me is your therapist begging for you to be in their life, that's crazy work. So you're not reliable. And that means, again, like you said, we now have to look at every single thing she has said and really deduce, is this real? Is this somebody who's in their self believes that it's real, but it's not? Her email to her therapist her therapist email was clearly saying, let's do a proper handoff, because you met with her, you have been seeing her for 2.5 years. She has been giving you therapy for 2.5 years, and you suddenly say, I don't want to do therapy. Today's our last day. It is proper for the therapist to say, can we connect again, just to make sure that there's a proper handoff. I don't see any issue with that. Let's go go to Joyful, and then we'll go to, I think is it Allie? But Joyful, go ahead.
Hello, thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity. I just wanted to kind of make a point to what you were saying, Aunt Karen, that I'm a certified peer support specialist. So that means I'm a person who uses my experience with mental health to work with other individuals. So I work on first episode psychosis teams, and I also have my own business. And for clarification, I just want to say, because I get called a life coach sometimes and it's very difficult, but we have state standard certifications. I have to be insured. We have code of ethics, scope of practice. We have all of those things that so many other individuals and practice areas in mental health have. And so there are really valid people that are out there doing that type of work with the proper trainings and certifications.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, and that's why I said, like, you know, we have to really look at the full scope of what she's saying and know that I want everybody to be comfortable in the sense of we're not going to get the full story, right? The only person who can legally, and when I say legally, who can absolutely jump up here freely first is only ever going to be her. This man has a legal obligation, even if he leaves that practice. He cannot say a word about this. You have to
and interestingly enough, with that, like I couldn't even, like within my scope, I wouldn't be able to. So that's it. I feel terrible for him and his family and his business or whoever he's with because he's not going to be able to say anything. Right. And if he does, he'll lose his license for that. So he's kind of, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Absolutely. Is it AMM down there? I can't see your full name.
Yeah. Hi, it's Emma Gallus. I think this is fascinating to watch unfold. For kind of background, I am a licensed marriage family therapist. I will not and refuse to comment on what I think might be going on. Not my place, not my client. But I think some of the bigger conversation here and where I'm getting really fired up about this, watching this unfold, is I've been practicing just under 15 years. So my cohort or my generation of therapists, we are working so damn hard to destigmatize mental health, to change the landscape of mental health therapy, to really look at, even bigger picture, right? Like the colonization of mental health therapy and the history and all this stuff. And the damage now is so big. This lady is practicing therapy without a license. CBT is a therapeutic modality. She is disseminating poor information to her clients. Being a proponent of using chat, which is another bigger conversation, right, of what AI and how it belongs or doesn't belong in the mental health field. I use ChatGPT. I would never recommend my clients use it like a therapist. I would never use chat like a therapist, right? I just think the damage is so big because this platform is so wide. And I'm more devastated when I am seeing either through comments or, hot takes and people posting and giving their opinions. I have empathy for her. Where I can't and where I'm struggling is where I'm watching people identify with her in a way that, again, is damaging what we're working really, really, really hard to undo. Years and years and years of really bad mental health workers, training that we've worked really hard to undo. And I just feel like this is pushing us back. So friendly PSA, please don't use chat as your therapist, boys and girls, and don't take courses from anybody who does not have the scope of practice or training from. So that's it. Thanks for your time.
All right. Thank you. We're going to go up to, I think it's is it Allie? A-L-A or A-L-E, and then we'll go to Nellie and then Big.
Hi, yeah, my name is Allie. I am a social worker and trained therapist, but I'm here as a civilian. Okay, first of all, it's funny because I have a South Asian male psychiatrist, and anyone who is in psychiatry is not like it is. Like she's saying, what was it? there was something that she wanted like feedback about and said that he just stared. Oh, the response to her boyfriend where he said that he was thinking of her, and then she was like, that thinking of me is not a sufficient invite. And the psychiatrist says, oh, I bet he'll have to read that twice. You know, the psychiatrist isn't there to, you know, unpack things with you. It's med management. And especially sounds like she's been on the same med or similar meds for 3 years. That's similar to my situation. Sometimes my appointments are like 5 minutes. And I just, my psychiatrist is a nice guy. It's hard to find a personable psychiatrist. Really, it can be a little clinical and cold. But also, I wanted to see, and maybe Aunt Karen, you had some insight because you talked to her. You know, she's calling herself a survivor and wants people to believe her, but she hasn't. The things that he is, the things that she is upset about and feels victimized for are her own perceptions.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I don't think they were ever in a room together alone. If that, maybe once. And so she doesn't have anything. The reason she is only providing, oh, he commented on my glasses is because she probably can't actually put them in a room together. I don't think she actually can. And that's why the only thing she can provide are these small comments. As you said, most of the psychiatry is very quickly. Med management, you have a therapist. Up until February, she had a therapist. So there wasn't, what can he really talk to you about? There's nothing for him to really, besides of how is this med treating you? Do you feel tired? Are you not getting sleep? Are you doing this? So where on earth, and I'm just trying to understand, why would he even care about a boyfriend if it has nothing to do with your diagnoses? What did you expect him to give you?
Exactly.
So that's why she's not reliable. Big, and then, I'm sorry, Nelly, and then Big. Go ahead, Nelly.
Hi. I wanted to say, do you think that she would join your live since she's gonna come live at 10 o'clock?
No, I don't think she's going to join. I think if she was going to join, she would have done it already. Maybe if I had 6,000 people in here, she would feel, she would get that high, but she can just go live herself and get a couple thousand views. She is looking for a high right now, and she doesn't need me to carry her for that. She should be going live in about 30 minutes, you guys. So I'm going to keep live until she goes ahead and jumps on, and everybody can go over there. But yeah, I don't think she's not coming over here. I think she's definitely watching, because she's going to need material to talk about later on tonight in her own live. But I don't think she's going to join. Big, what's up? Oh, go ahead, Nelly. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I just want to say, so the way that she talks about her chat GBT thing is so crazy. And you seen yesterday when she was on live and everybody in the comments was talking about that girl Emily. At first she was acting like she didn't even know who they were talking about. And then today she makes a whole video talking about how that was a friend, and not only a friend but the only person she ever befriended.
Yeah.
So it's like, how didn't you understand, how didn't that click? Like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like, okay, like, yeah, obviously she's like unhinged and like a little nuts and stuff, but like, I do feel like maybe the doctors did do injustice, sorry, for like towards her, because clearly she needs like more help than she received, because like there's something delusional, something wrong there. So
How can we say that? How can you know that the doctors did something wrong, right? We can't the doctor can't make her take her medicine, right?
oh yeah,
The
obviously we don't know
doctor,
what really.
we don't know her accurate diagnoses. So we can't assume that the doctor did anything wrong because we will never hear from the doctor. The only person who can legally right now tell their story is her.
No, that's
He's never going to be able to jump on TikTok and just start a video and say, "Hi guys, I'm the therapist. I did not do those things." He's not going to have that opportunity because he has a license. He works for a practice, so he has liability there that she does not have. You know, she can create this story. He can't. But go ahead, Big. You wanted to jump in?
Hello. Yeah.
Yes.
I was wondering. She keeps saying this thing, supply, which I have a narcissistic ex. So what I usually say, like he moved on to a new supply. Like what supply is he getting from her? It doesn't make any sense to me. What supply he's getting? Like other than a check, what is he getting out of her for real?
Yeah. So her idea of him getting any kind of high is basically saying that men will engage with women to feed their ego. That was one of the things that she was saying. Like he took advantage because she was feeding his ego, right? By saying, "Oh, I had this dream about you, and oh, I'm in love with you, and you just keep me as a patient, and I've been thinking about you." And that she's saying that he kept her around to feed that ego. I do not think that she went in day 2 on their second appointment and said, "By the way, I'm in love with you." I don't think she did it on day 3. I don't think she did it month 5. I don't think she did it a year and a half into it. I don't think she did it if she did it at all, I don't think she did it until recently. Until that appointment where she said that she had that sex dream. That's when I think she may have said something. And when he was extremely, in her words, uncomfortable, didn't know what to say, didn't know how to react. That to me tells me she did. There's no way there was an ongoing. "I need you. I'm in love with you. I'm thinking about you in the full moon, and I'm ovulating, and I want to have your baby." Like, there's no way that was happening.
But how can she have said, like in her own words, he showed extreme discomfort when, like, if anyone like said something to someone and they thought that they took it like well, they would have been like, "Oh, they were like flattered, oh, they blushed," but extreme discomfort and then to correlate that with "he wants you" is like what?
Yeah. And our bodies can respond, right? It's very true. Our bodies can respond to things that we do not like, right? Obviously, right? There may something that somebody may touch us and our body can respond. That doesn't mean we liked what happened, right? You can blush. Somebody can say something very off the cuff to you and you can blush. That doesn't mean you liked what they said. And for her to take those small cues as, "Oh, he immediately must liked what I said," goes to show there was no way for this guy to win. He was never going to win.
Probably putting those cues into ChatGPT. That's the delusional part. That this is what I'm saying. Like the ChatGPT is not helping her. She's putting all these cues into the ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is validating her. There was another story, I think a couple months ago, where the stepfather was putting into ChatGPT like, "Oh, my stepdaughter is posting online, and there's this cue about her." I don't know if have you seen those videos? It's a crazy story about how the wife found ChatGPT logs with her husband about her stepdaughter, and her stepdaughter was a teen. Like this is like AI is not helping us.
It's not hard to get validation from AI. Allie, go ahead.
Hi, Karen. Thanks so much for having me on here. I wanted to point out really quick when she talks about when she left this 75-year-old PhD therapist, she specifically said that she left because she was feeling completely mentally healthy. She said that she had really never felt better. She, has seen this progress. She was classifying herself as mentally healthy. And the reason that I joined is because I thought I heard you say that happened in February. I wasn't sure on the timeline of when she left.
February.
That confirms for me, though, when she talks about this experience with her psychiatrist, the verbiage that she uses is extreme limerence. If she knows that she's an extreme limerence, that means that she has an extreme mental health issue that she's working through. For me, it almost seems like, because she talks a lot about, this is my truth, this is my reality. But it seems like she has a different reality based on the individual.
Yes, that's very true. Just by the way that she describes her therapist, as you mentioned, one of the things she always says when she brings up her therapist, she doesn't just say she's a woman. She immediately discredits her by saying her age. Here's why. When you say your therapist is a 75-year-old woman, you immediately discredit her for a lot of reasons. People are going to think, oh, well, how can she know about a 30-something-year-old? How can she relate to you? How can she, she wants to hear your juicy details about this man that you're in love with. It's like she's feeding off of you because what? She's living vicariously through you. That's the narrative she wants to paint for us when it comes to the therapist. She doesn't know what she's talking about. And then she says that she talked to the psychiatrist about the therapist and he thinks, oh, she's unprofessional and da da da. No, I don't think any of that happened. I don't think that was the conversation. I think she was done with her therapist. I think she wants to paint her therapist as this person who just could not understand her and she just didn't need her. But I'm pretty sure anybody in therapy, if you tell me that you're in love with someone and I'm your therapist, I do want to understand what your thought process is. I do want to know, how do you plan on navigating this? This is not uncommon territory for somebody to sit and ask you, how do you plan to navigate yourself with them? So Anna says she has just posted 2 new videos. Not surprised. She's about to go live in the next 20 minutes. Again, none of this is surprising to me. So she's painting her out to be this crazy woman while painting out the younger guy who is about her age to be this savior. He's flirting with me. He said he liked my glasses, so I wore the torch. This none of it makes sense. And when I asked her, are you still in love with him? She said, yeah, maybe I am. And when I asked her, when you started your series, was your goal to get his attention? She said, yes. Your goal. So how can you're saying that at first you were telling your story because you wanted his attention. You didn't get it in the first 4. You didn't get it in the second 4. And you're continuing, and now you're becoming a savior. She's like, but so many women are sending me messages and they're saying, I went through this too. She sent me, she tagged me in a few videos of women who are saying, yeah, you guys don't believe a man would do this. Listen, we all know men can be men, okay? But that doesn't mean every single man is out to get her in some sort of level, okay? I think it's very interesting that the common denominator is that she's the wanted one. She doesn't want her ex, but he wants her. She doesn't want her therapist, but her therapist wants her. She doesn't now, her psychiatrist was manipulating her. Isn't it interesting that the common theme is everybody wants her, but she does not want them back? That's crazy to me. Lorelai?
I think watching all of her videos, my biggest concern is the licensing of that psychiatrist. So I'm a nurse, and so HIPAA is a very big thing in healthcare. And as a psychiatrist, he went through med school. That is, he cannot move past the bounds of HIPAA. So we're hearing everything from her side of the story. This is not just a her problem. Mm-hmm. We have seen many videos where people have filmed their healthcare providers, and we don't get to see the entire context of the video because the healthcare providers cannot tell their side of the story. So even though we know that she's an unreliable narrator, we can just tell by the way that she talks about this story. We will never know his side. He can't come on TikTok and talk about what's going on. They'll yoink his license. So I think a lot of people need to take that with a grain of salt. We're only seeing that one side of what's happening. And what makes it worse is she's blown this story up to huge proportions, but also has outed him. So she said his name multiple times. She said she turned her comments off because people were outing him themselves, but his name is very uncommon. So people immediately found him.
Yeah.
So now, not only can he not tell his side, he is now going to have his license threatened because they're going to investigate this. This is going to be an investigation, 100%.
Yeah, and I said earlier.
I don't mean to cut in but if I can say your name, I think it's Lorelai. You have such a gorgeous name. What a queen name. But my thing is, I do back her up on that. I did say something in the chat, and I said, I wanted to believe that something was going on, and clearly she's Delulu with no Salulu. And we have to understand that not everybody is going to be well. And the fact that she's going through, God knows what she's going through. But to put that on a platform to disclose, or not disclose specifically, but to put someone out there on the platform and rob them of their title, of their work that they worked so hard for, is very diminishing. It's very nasty. And as a YT woman, how dare you?
Yeah. Somebody in the comments says that he can sue her. I don't really necessarily believe right now, because even though she is, painting him in a bad light, she is saying what she felt. She didn't say he locked her in a closet. She just said his comments made her feel that he was into her. So there really
isn't. But for me as a woman, I don't give a damn about anybody's race. As a woman, you came in there putting your deflection on someone else. It's giving mental issues, and she needs to take that up with something more further, because you have a psychiatrist, my dear. There's no way in the world that someone wouldn't be able to bring you out of what you're going through. And now let's just say this. It's not saying that once you visit a psychiatrist, it's going to fix all your problems. You can still be unresolved. You can still be left with nothing. But here's my thing. My thing is, you took in her mind, is what I took from her, a weak mind, and you robbed him of that. And now you're pursuing him in a way that is unfair.
Well, and I want to be clear too to the comment section, right? This story will die down eventually, right? So what she's doing now, we are in the height of it now, okay? But in a month or so from now, she's getting 4,000 people in her live, 2,000 people now. Will she a month from now? No. 6 months from now? No. She's only growing in this moment. So when you guys say, he's losing something, that is yet to be seen. Okay. We don't know if any clients have stopped talking to him. We don't know if anything has changed for him. In this moment, we can't say that. Now, he may have an emotional feeling that we can say that he's more than likely going through. But to say that there are damages in this moment, the other cat is trying to get in. To say that there are damages in this moment, we cannot. She's only been posting for since the weekend? So that's not enough time to say on a broader scale that there are damages. Unless he's fired today, which that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. We cannot say that there are damages. So when people say it's defamation, you have to prove a loss. One patient leaving you is not a loss. You getting fired from your job, is a loss. You now need to connect you being fired from that job because of what someone said. You need to now prove that these conversations did not happen. So I understand what some people are saying, but realize that there's a bigger picture to paint in order to actually sue somebody for defamation. Nothing she said can right now in this moment can truly be taken as, okay, we can sue him for what? Or he can sue her for what? Right now, there's nothing that we can
And
say
you're
that she's
absolutely
taken.
correct about that, Auntie Karen. My biggest thing is mental health is a thing.
Absolutely.
PTSD is a thing. She may look normal on the camera, but behind her soul of her medulla oblongata may not be connected with any stems of regulation. So I just say this. There are some things that I find that she's preying on him for certain reasons. And that will come out when God says a light shall be shown. Mm-hmm. But one thing about me is what she is doing, karma is something else. The universe is something else. God is something else. And what she is doing, if this is false allegation, and say she's not playing, or say she's playing, and it's her thinking this is really love or this is really something. Mm-hmm. Here's my thing. I hate to say it, but I want to be like, girl, I know you fucking lying. Mm-hmm. But the other side of me wants to think that she's not really capable of even knowing what's going on because she has been through something. And again, it's allegations. It's not a thing. It's not something I'm putting out. She could be going through something we don't know. But mental health is a thing. And one thing about me, she needs to get that checked in. The people who love her, that watch her family, they need to check in. Something's not right.
I'm gonna say,
wanted to jump in real quick.
Hey, you in a minute.
Go ahead.
hey, I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna drop down for the night because I've really enjoyed this live. It's
Does
just,
not excuse her behavior.
like,
That's not
you know, dissecting everything that's been going on here. I really believe that there is a part of her, that little girl part of her. It was someone in her life that did not see her, that invalidated her, that ignored her, that she wanted attention. She tried to get attention in her life. You know, I want to say that that's something that's inside of her, that's deep inside of her, and that she's using everything she can get to not connect with that part of herself so she can start her healing process. And to potentially ruin this man's reputation is something else. Now, there was a person that claimed in the comments that they were a patient. I really admonish people who are claiming to be patients of this doctor to refrain from even speaking about what you've said to your doctor in here and said anything, because at this point in time, this is such a sensitive topic. This man's reputation, his livelihood is at stake. And like that RN that was in here just said, they will investigate this if they're not already investigating this. So I really admonish that people who are claiming to be his patients, y'all just keep whatever y'all session is. Don't just refrain from saying anything that you were a patient of his in the comments. That's to protect your privacy as well as his, because this is a serious situation. She is dangerous. She is unstable. And we really, really need to just make sure that this man, this person of color, he is a person of color, is protected in any way that he can be, because this woman can ruin his life. And I do believe that she's fragmented. It's something that happened to her. It's some sort of trauma. I'm not no therapist, but it's some kind of trauma. Or maybe she just liked the attention, because narcissists love attention.
And Tiffany, we talked a little bit about it, but I do want to give something. Sorry, I can't say it. A little.
And I'll see you later.
Good night. Okay? And just because I know Kendra's about to go live, and I know you want to say something.
This is a topic that's very serious because.
Are you? Hold on. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thanks.
Go ahead.
Sorry,
I didn't mean to cut off. It's Cade, but thank you for giving me space to participate. Just for background, I'm not a psychologist myself. I am a criminal defense attorney. So I often deal with people in mental health crisis. A lot of my clients, I would say 75% have some sort of mental health crisis. And I hesitate to think the 75-year-old therapist was unprofessional or unethical. What I read from that situation of her reaching back out and say, come back one more, is, people in manic states or similar delusional states get this grandiose of like, I'm healed, I'm good, I can quit, I can be done. And before that, she's bringing the therapist into the whole conversation about her obsession with the psychiatrist. So to me, I read that as a therapist recognizing that instead she's in a state where she's spiraling out of control, and she's desperately trying to bring her back just one more to kind of try and help settle this.